everyone, it's Cara here for our Monday recipe, and today actually is a meatless Monday recipe because we are using 2 pounds of Beyond Beef plant-based ground meat. So I've got that in there, browning that along with 1 onion, 4 teaspoons of minced garlic. We have half a teaspoon of sea salt. I'm doubling this recipe, by the way. Half a teaspoon of sea salt, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. Then there are 2 tablespoons of Country Crock plant-based butter. And you're supposed to brown the onion and garlic in the butter, and you season the meat with salt and pepper. So I like to do it all together. They said brown the meat first, then take it out of there, put it on a separate plate, then do the butter and the onion and garlic separately. But other stroganoff recipes I have made, I don't do that. I do it all together. So we're gonna put the flour in here all together with it in a second too. So I do it all together. They said to take the meat out, do the other stuff separately, and put the meat back in, but I just don't do it that way. It's up to you. So we're going to cook this stuff until the onion and garlic are soft. By the way, this recipe is called Mitzi's Beef Stroganoff from the All Recipes Dinner Spinner app, and I'll link the recipe in the description box below, the link to it, but I'm making it meatless, so we're going to call it Vegan Stroganoff. I got to get rid of my vegan meat, so we're doing that. So this is going to cook until the onions soften, about 5 to 7 minutes. When that happens, I'm going to add, you're supposed to add 3 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to use garbanzo bean flour, but I'm actually going to use 6 tablespoons since I'm doubling the recipe. So when I get to that point, I'll show you. Then later, when the sauce is done, I'm going to use these noodles to put it over. So these are pad thai brown rice noodles. They're gluten-free. They cook up in 5 minutes or less. They're real easy to do, and they taste good. So that'll be the noodles that goes over when we're done. All right, so I'm gonna keep cooking these until it browns. And then I'll put the flour in, then show you the next steps. Okay, so we have put in our flour. The recipe calls for 3 tablespoons. We did 6 because I'm doubling it, and that made it thicker and sort of this kind of creamy color. Then, when it starts to boil like it is now, you put in 4 teaspoons, the original recipe was 2 teaspoons, of cocoa aminos. If you're allergic to soy like I am, it replaces Worcestershire sauce. So it called for 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire, so I doubled it, did 4 teaspoons of cocoa aminos as my substitute for that. And it calls for 2 cups of beef broth. I'm trying to get rid of my vegetable broth, so I did 2 cups of vegetable broth. And then 3/4 of a teaspoon of prepared mustard, so I did 1.5 teaspoons since I doubled it. Now you stir that all together. Then we're going to put a lid on this. Reduce the heat to medium-low and let it simmer for an hour is what it says, until it reaches a gravy-like consistency, but honestly it already pretty much is. So what they said in the reviews of this recipe is it doesn't take an hour. Just whenever you feel like it gets to the consistency you want and those flavors are married together, then you're going to put in the dairy part, which ours will be non-dairy since I'm allergic to dairy. But we'll put that in. We'll let it simmer for a little bit. So we have stirred this all together. I'm going to cover it, and we're going to reduce the heat and simmer for as long as I want it to simmer, basically. Up to an hour. Alright, got the cover on there. Reduce it to medium-low. I'm thinking that's like a 2. All right, we're gonna leave it there. Okay, for our last step, we're going to add in the dairy, or in this case, plant-based dairy. So the original recipe called for 1/4 of a cup of cream cheese and 1/4 of a cup of sour cream, but I am using 1/2 a cup because I doubled the recipe. So we're using Forager plant-based sour cream and Kroger's plant-based cream cheese alternative. So half this one, and then I've got 1/2 a cup of the sour cream here. Plant-based sour cream. I'll get that out in a second. And there's our 1/2 a cup of plant-based cream cheese. So now we're going to stir that in, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, I've stirred in all of the non-dairy dairy, and it's done. This is our vegan stroganoff. I'll link the original recipe below from the All Recipes Dinner Spinner app, but it is delicious. So give it a try.